Welcome to episode 57 of the OVW Fanzone Live. This is where fans talk back. My name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines, and this is the 57th episode. Hines 57.
Okay, I was wondering, I was like, man, he usually has something better for this.
Oh, no. I don't have to because it writes itself.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I like we learned on our podcast that's already up on our feed, sometimes just let Brian Hines cook. Tiny Brian, say hello, please.
Hello, please. Hang on.
No, turn that microphone on, baby. Talk dirty to me.
Hello.
Okay,
Nope.
maybe not go that far.
Wait, we're working on it over here.
Come on, PS. Now I'm blaming you.
Hello.
How many
I
points
was
is
turned
that?
down.
How many
He
points
never
is that?
wants to turn me up.
That's 2.
Okay, say hello, please.
Hello, please. Hey, there I am. I exist. Hello, chat room. Hello, Mr. Hans.
Hello, sir.
Congratulations on your episode.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So that you just heard our producer, Tiny Brian. Tiny Brian is also in the chat room tonight as at OVW Podcast. He'll be collecting all of your questions, comments, concerns, complaints, requests, anything wrestling or Ohio Valley wrestling related, or just chat in general. He'll be dispensing that to us during the final segment of the OVW Fan Zone because, of course, the final segment is where fans talk back.
That's right.
Well, they can talk back. Now, you guys have been kind of skipping over this recently. There's a way they can guarantee that they can talk back immediately.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That would be a super chat.
Right. A super chat means...
I will interrupt them if they're in the middle of a tear-jerking confession. I will interrupt them. Nope, because Itzokazago wants to know what your favorite color of birthday cake is.
Go ahead. Give him that one for free, Brian Hines.
That would be purple.
Okay. All right. Purple
Do
cake.
you wanna-
Purple cake. Like icing?
Yeah, I think
Or
that's
like the cake itself?
Surprise me.
Okay. All right.
grape cake.
Well, all right. Well,
Is there grape cake? Can you make grape-flavored cake?
I'm sure.
I guess you put some grape
should
jelly
you?
in there.
You can make soda cake. You guys ever had the cake with the soda in it?
Yeah, I have. It's good stuff.
There's grape soda. So, I mean,
Oh, well, then there you go. Yeah.
world's your oyster. Follow your heart.
Yeah.
I guess that is just one step away from a fruit cake, though.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole, dude.
I'm also not going to make a joke there.
No.
Yes.
Based on your joke, based on his joke, I'm just gonna forgo all.
2
of
out of 2 co-hosts agree that we are not going to make a joke.
Some Junk Punch Hero says rainbow sprinkles are the way to go.
Only choice.
I'm fine with
I
that.
see that.
Hello, chat room. And, I'm watching for your comments, questions, concerns, complaints, concertos, other words that start with C.
C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me.
Yes, or cake even. Put them in there. I will cut them out, and we will talk about them soon.
The new drink on the OVW Fanzone Live is not Al Snow appearing. It is Brian Hines making a Sesame Street reference.
Yeah.
So
Which
drink
happens
up.
quite a bit.
Guys, go ahead and have your first one out there. Brian Hines.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about where we can see all of the superstars of Ohio Valley Wrestling, all of the wonderful wrestlers of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Why don't we do that?
In and around Kentucky and beyond for
Well,
the OVW Summer Tour.
Every Thursday, you can catch OVW live at Hot Point Davis Arena. That's 4400 Shepherdsville Road. Doors open at 6:15. Overdrive matches are from 6:30 to 7, and Rise is from 7 to 9. We have a free all-ages show at Element Eatery in Cincinnati, Ohio. That is June 28th. That is 2 Saturdays from this Saturday. OVW Independence Rage, Hot Point Davis Arena, July 1st. I didn't mean to make you do math. I'm sorry.
I was just making sure. Just do math.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Our favorite shows of the year happen at the Manchester Music Hall. The next one is July 5th. That is going to be something. I don't know anything out of the ordinary. I don't know anything that you don't know. But I'm just going with my spidey senses, and it's going to be something.
And what a week there, too. Hot Point Davis Arena on the 1st, and then on a Tuesday, a special Tuesday showing, and then
that's right.
July 5th there. What a week for OVW fans that is.
Yeah. Not only that, but you've got Rise the following Thursday, business as usual programming. And then you have the show at Courtesy Acura on July 12th. That is an outdoor show here in Lexington.
Yeah, they usually have food trucks, inflatables.
Pretty sure that's a free-for-all show as well.
Yeah, giveaways.
Lots of stuff for kids.
Yeah, right on Nicholasville Road if you're in the Lexington area.
Yeah, it is a good time to be an OVW fan if you live in Lexington, Kentucky, or anywhere else for that matter, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, no, those shows are fun. Shows are they're scorchers though, so bring some water if you're out there.
Yeah. Definitely stay hydrated. We don't have any more shows, do we? That's it. That's all we
I've
know
not
for
heard
now.
of any more. No, I didn't see anything new in their feed. You know, they're about to probably start booking for the fall. Just kind of knowing them how they deal with things. So hopefully we'll get some more dates soon. Where do you want to chat room? Where do you want to see OVW come? Put it in there right now. Let's take a look.
Hey, that's a great question. What a great way to start off this week's episode.
One of my favorite things that ever happened in the history of the internet was Justin Bieber put a fan poll up on his website. This is like 2008. And said, where do you want to see Justin Bieber perform next? This is a young, bright, fresh-faced, like 15-year-old Justin Bieber. And the internet took it over and wrote North Korea.
Oh.
So they had to...
A Bodie McBoatface situation.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things that ever happened in the internet. But, like, much more genuine and funnier than Bodie McBoatface. Sorry, PG. This is PG-13. So.
Yeah.
While we're in the top of this segment here, before we throw to break, we mentioned this a little bit on our podcast, which is already up on our YouTube feed, OVW Podcast.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Was a long one, a lot of fun, though. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out after the conclusion of this show or whenever you have time this week. But I do think it bears repeating here. The American Gladiators reboot, there's some OVW superstars that we'll probably recognize in there.
That's right. Yeah, that was just announced earlier this week, and there are two familiar faces that you will see if you tune in to the
That's
new
just so
American
far,
Gladiators. Yeah, that's just so far. It could be more. Who knows? We've got Mr. Spectacular, Jesse Goddard.
Probably not a surprise. I mean, Jesse Goddard has been on television forever. He definitely has the look of an American Gladiator back in the day, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Been on TV in a lot of different facets forever. Professional wrestling background, not afraid to get physical, great look. Not a surprise there. But J-Rod kind of surprised me. She's a little newer on the scene. This is a big opportunity for her.
It is a huge opportunity for her. I'm not as surprised because, I mean, she fits the bill too, in terms of what they're looking for, physically speaking. So congratulations to both of them. Do we know where? That's on Amazon, right?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. So keep your eyes peeled on Amazon while you're shopping for your things that are going to be delivered to your house in the next day or two, as Amazon is famous for. And
guys, I do have one for everybody out there. Hey, Alexa, play the OVW podcast. That's just in case anybody had their Alexa on.
Wow, that's mean.
That's awesome.
Okay, Google, play the OVW podcast.
See, we could do this all night, but we won't.
So Jackman really didn't understand these things much at all until he started coming to my house.
That's not true. There was an era of my mid-20s. Here we go.
Hey, Siri, play the OVW podcast.
Oh, I did not think that's...
Now we have all the bases covered.
I definitely thought Malachi was going to ask it to play a bodily function.
Yes.
No, I have a pretty good understanding of the Alexa. I used to get...
They will, Brian.
I used to get pretty inebriated at parties and just go, hey, Alexa, play Dead Flowers by the Rolling Stones at like 2:30 in the morning. So I knew I had some experience. Good for J-Rod, though, to conclude this.
Yeah.
No, I think you're 100% right. I can't wait for someone to get crumpled up with a spear on... like a legit, like on American Gladiator. She just it's like some fourth grade choir teacher who's like, oh, I can't wait, and she's like running the gauntlet or whatever, or she has the
high
big
energy.
And she's just like, and then J-Rod just puts her in the wall. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
this would be great.
I wonder if it's going to be like. I wish it would be kind of like a. MXC. Do you remember that show?
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Yeah.
I do.
I love the commentary on that show. It was just it was something else. I really enjoyed it.
I do think that there is definitely an avenue for this version of American Gladiators to be a little bit more like campy and like haha and kind of winky to the camera. Especially like another show kind of like that. Wipeout over on TNT
yeah, that's
or
what made
TBS.
Me think of that.
It's very
Originally
haha. The
it's
voiceovers.
What we have because there's no more MXC.
A little bit.
It's basically the same.
I think MXC was a little bit more malintentioned.
Yeah.
But John Cena, OVW alum, he's over on Wipeout, so got to plug that. Got to plug Wipeout.
Don't see him there.
No.
So we've got a packed show ahead of us, guys. In the chat, stay busy for the next couple minutes. Get ready to drink with Al. All of that good stuff. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I neglected something.
Okay.
You can get tickets for all of the
Look at this.
shows.
Look at this guy.
On OVWTix.com.
And we will be back right after this.
We don't know yet, so. Come on! When we see him, we'll scream. Huh?
Yeah. Is that your old drone or somebody else's drone?
Cody, 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 Cody.
Hey, to all my friends at the OVW podcast, congratulations on 100 episodes. You guys have been killing it from the beginning, so I'm proud to say that not only have I been a part of the show, but I'm friends with you guys, and I really love what you're doing. And would I lie to you? Because, I mean, I am a really good guy, right? Hope y'all have another 100, 200, 300 episodes. Keep it going, but don't ever forget what made you unofficial. Y'all have a good one.
I'm Debbie. I'm in the OVW Fanzone.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
I'm Keith, and I'm in the OVW Fanzone.
Dream a reality and attend the world-famous Harvard of Pro Wrestling. The OVW Academy with Al Snow, the birthplace of legends including Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, The Miz, and many more. Will you be the next name added to that impressive list? Visit OVWacademy.com and apply now.
Welcome back, OVW Fanzone Live. My name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines.
So we saw a video that you put together in our break there, where you and I made a valiant effort to go see OVW alum. That's all he's done, really.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Most famous thing.
Most famous thing, OVW alum.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes, who's in the new Naked Gun.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he
Yeah.
certainly is.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think he's actually like Frank Drebin III, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait. So
Which
Liam
would make
Neeson
him
is Frank Drebin
the
Jr.
Yes.
And Cody Rhodes is Frank Drebin III.
I'm not certain about that, but I would certainly. I cannot wait for Cody Rhodes is the perfect like sports figure to go into this movie. and I'm
Okay,
excited.
I had mixed feelings about this to begin with.
I
Because
actually am strangely on board from the beginning.
The Naked Gun, well, I mean, generationally speaking, the Naked Gun was a big deal back in the day in terms of parodies and stuff. It was straight out of the line of Airplane and Airplane
Hey, we had
2, the
HBO,
sequel.
so I saw Naked Gun a lot.
Okay. Well, with that being said, when they rebooted Fletch and John Hamm was Fletch, I don't know how I feel about that. Fletch has a very special place in my heart.
I think-
and this kind of falls under the same line.
I think here's the thing: is that Fletch, you kind of have to have a comedic bone. I don't know, John Hamm. I think he plays everything a little too 110%, right? Liam Neeson, though, I think the world of the Naked Gun is different than the world of Fletch. And I think Liam Neeson playing it 110% straight is inherently very funny.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I had mixed feelings until you guys dropped this little nugget on me, and now, yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to see Cody Rhodes in some Naked Gun.
I think it's a Peacock original.
Really?
I might be wrong about that.
Oh well, now I'm kind of on the fence again.
But it's the Lonely Island guys were writing and directing it.
Is that Andy Samberg?
His friends. Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I'm back in.
So I think it has a lot of potential. Anyway,
yeah,
we tried to go see star of the upcoming movie, maybe Peacock original, The Naked Gun. We tried to go see Cody Rhodes.
We did. We attempted.
We got there. You saw some of our friends in the video there.
Yeah.
You know, they were smarter than us. They got there earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We got there. There were 500 people in the city of Versailles, Kentucky, which is probably, no joke, like a sixth of who lives there.
Like it's not a very big town.
More, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a big town. It's a big county, but like, yeah, probably the city seat proper of Versailles is, I would say, like tops 3,000 people. There's a sixth of that, at least, in front of this Kroger to go see Cody Rhodes.
We saw the line in the video.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We got a hookup of a hookup to be able to even stand close enough to see Cody walk off of the...
Yeah, that was as close as we got. Did we get to meet Cody Rhodes?
No.
Nope.
No.
Sure didn't.
To be fair, our hookup, this won't surprise you. He's a stand-up guy. He got the offer to go in and meet him kind of, off the books. And he said, no, these people have been waiting in line, and they deserve the time with him.
Wow.
So he dropped off his case of bourbon for Cody and left.
Yeah.
But it was, we miraculously even got to stand close enough to see Cody get off the bus. What a great shot, though. Like, I didn't expect it to be so theatrical.
Yeah.
With him, all the fans, them all chanting, him pulling right up.
And then Brian can't resist and starts chanting too.
Of course.
Yeah, obviously. Duh.
But we saw a few of the OVW faithful in that video. And
who did we see exactly, Brian? Who was in those pictures?
Wesley Brocky and Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Rocco Jerome was in there somewhere.
We ran into Rocco. Yeah.
And, of course, we saw Chris Runyon and Matthew Berry.
Who were gracious enough to hand over a couple of our podcast swag items that hopefully Cody looked at and smiled at before he threw them in the trash. I don't know. We've made it on a lot of people's
equipment
backpacks.
bags.
We've made it on a lot of people's equipment bags. So
no fooling.
There might be, keep your eyes peeled for the OVW podcast sticker on Cody Rhodes' equipment bag out there, Internet Sleuths. Or maybe the keychain's on the keys to the bus he pulled up on now. Who knows?
It's hard to say.
You think he travels on that thing full time?
If I had a bus, you better believe I would.
I mean, it's pretty...
if I had a bus with my
face
face
cool.
on it...
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked Randy Orton's got a fire, he's the fireball guy. Did you see that? Cody's like the Wheatley vodka guy. And Randy Orton's the fireball guy.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of money over there.
No fool.
That is for sure. But we tried. And everybody, if you've been listening to this podcast long, or our podcast or this show, everybody knows that I love Cody Rhodes. Honestly, I'm very happy with what we got. I'm very happy that we were there, kind of this big energy, kind of festival-like environment. Saw some of our friends, got to see him come off the bus. I'm really happy with what we got. It was nice to share within the energy, even if we didn't get to sit down with the man himself.
Yeah, and since we got turned away, we went out and had lunch together and shot some pool.
Yeah, and
which was also nice, but not quite Cody Rhodes, hanging out with Cody Rhodes.
This guy, listen, you're in a bar room somewhere, you see Brian Hines walk up and he says, "You want to play for money?" He's running a scam on you. Well, I'm not saying that's what he did to me, but this man is very good at pool.
Hey, I like you.
This man is very good at pool. So I'm just giving everybody out there in OVW land a fair warning. Do not play money ball with this man. He will clean your clock.
Y'all want to get into some reviews?
Would love to. Let's do it.
All right. So mostly what we have here is hard reset stuff. Wasn't much that went on Thursday. So we have Eric Surge, Mount Kadeem obviously did not happen, although most of you did predict that Eric would retain, which is what ended up happening against Tony Evans.
He is still the U.S. champion.
That is
Indeed. Then we talked about the tag team match featuring Cal, Hero, and Billy Gunn taking on Crixus and Tony
Shotgun
Gunn.
Tony Gunn.
Yeah, there's lots of guns in this thing. You guys did. Brian correctly predicted Cal and Billy. Chapman, you thought Cal was going to leave?
Oh, did I say that?
I mean, I've got a J by that prediction.
Oh, there's no way I said that.
Okay, then. Let's move on to Freya the Slayer versus Sophia Rose for the OVW Women's Championship. And both of you predicted that Freya would win. It certainly felt like that was what was in the air. But Rose came out on top.
I think that was one of the biggest shockers from the pay-per-view.
I was very surprised, yes.
It's I don't want to belabor this point too much, but like Freya, come on.
I mean,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Every time, like these are matches that you're capable of winning. There's matches you should be winning. Let's be 100% honest.
I'm not entirely sure what we saw there towards the end.
If you haven't seen it yet, we won't give it all away. The pay-per-view from this past week, Hard Reset Saturday Night Special, is up for free on YouTube.
Right here on this very channel.
Spend a little bit of time with that pay-per-view. It was a wonderful, wonderful night.
It is totally worth the investment of your time.
But Freya,
I believe it.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, girl.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right, let's. After that, we talked about the Super Z Star Rider match, and either I was distracted or but I don't actually have the predictions. Do you guys?
I think that we really didn't go too much into proper prediction because we had no idea what this match was going to look like.
Yeah.
And there's no way that even if we had sat and talked for 45 minutes or a million more minutes, that I'd think we would have ever come up with what we saw this past Saturday night in this match.
No, I had no idea what to expect. I had heard it was a cinematic match. I'd never seen one in person, but geez, that was really something special. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. By the way,
Uh-oh. What do you got? Like a can of jelly beans that has a snake that's about to pop out?
You would think so, but no, I do have some souvenirs.
What did you get?
Oh,
bouncing balls.
Classic classic Brian Hines.
Classic Brian Hines.
Is one of them signed by Super Z and the other one signed by?
Did you get them to sign bouncy balls?
Not yet, but I will.
Maybe they just need to initial them.
So yeah, for anybody confused at home, because I know I was, bouncy balls, not marbles, bouncy balls.
I thought marbles too.
Which adds just a little bit more of an element of chaos because, I mean, look, it could go anywhere.
No, I mean, I think that there were so many moments. I think that part of the thing that made this match great, especially the in-ring segment of it, was that it continually defied, like, the expectation. You see the big bag come out, you think thumbtacks, you think Legos, you think anything. In fact, you're so geared to say that this has to be something sinister that you jump, like I did, immediately to marbles.
Yeah.
You didn't. Star Rider made some great choices by continually subverting expectations, keeping Super Z and the audience on their feet. However, it just wasn't enough, right? Wasn't enough. I think he was a little too in his bag, if anything. I think Super Z or Star Rider was just a little too eager, and Super Z waited for the right moment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Becky just entered the chat, and she is correct. One of these bouncy balls hit her.
Where was she?
One of those.
Did you throw it at her?
No.
Oh. Did you catch it when it bounced off of her?
No. Actually, I came back from the restroom, and she said, here you go. This is for the podcast.
Oh,
so
okay.
One of these comes courtesy of Miss Becky.
At the merch stand?
Yeah.
It hit her all the way over from the merch stand?
Well,
chat room, let us know. How far did these bounce balls bounce?
Yeah.
Did anybody else get hit?
Because that's an incredible occurrence.
Okay, after the match, they had to strike the set. They had to clear the ring.
Oh, okay.
And then
I see.
just throwing them out everywhere. The last time I was at an event where they were throwing bouncy balls like that. It was a Devo concert 14 years ago, and it was incredible.
I saw them on that same tour.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they played Forecastle in Louisville that year.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw them in Columbus.
Okay, yeah, I bet I guarantee you it was within the same week if that's the schedule.
I know it was this past week because it popped up in my memories.
Yeah, I saw them on that same tour.
Yeah.
They had that new record that had just come out.
That's right.
It was I can't remember what it's called, but I think it had a fly on it. It was blue.
No, it's the one where it's got the lady on the front, and she's I think it's called Something for All of Us.
Yeah, they had just had. I remember this all very well.
Yeah.
I remember this all very well.
Well, gentlemen, that's about all we have to review. So why don't we get into the most exciting segment in all of OVW Fanzone Live? It is time for
predictions.
Thank you, Malachi.
All right.
All
Seriously.
right. Wow, did you shorten that?
Yeah.
Neat.
He made it the appropriate length.
He did it.
I mean,
Producing
he's the one who
stuff.
put it in there 5 seconds originally.
That's what the PS stands for.
5 seconds originally.
All right. Apparently, chat room seems to like some Devo.
Well, yeah, what's not to
course.
like?
All right,
Are we not
so-
men? We are Devo.
So we have only one match on the card for tomorrow.
Okay, let's see it. Let's talk about it.
They
Let's
actually
do it.
gave us kind of a traditional poster. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of all around you guys, really, on either. So
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Oh, I see. There it is.
yeah, and so our one match we have to predict is actually a tag team championship match, rematch from Hard Reset, pitting the trifecta in the form of Brandon Beretta and Ashton Adonis, with, of course, our friend Anthony Katina, taking on Luscious Lawrence and Jake Lawless.
Water smells a little chummy, doesn't it? I mean, to back this one, Luscious Lawrence and Luscious Lawrence and Jake Lawless will walk into this with this match totally scouted, right?
I would hope so. For crying out loud.
They just went toe to toe with them at the pay-per-view not a week ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys know I've been a huge supporter of the trifecta since they came along. I still really, really, really want to sit and give them my support right here. But like I said, the water's smelling. It's smelling a little chummy. And I think in this situation, Luscious Lawrence and Jake Lawless are the Sharks. That's hard, man. And it's not that it's not that I've lost my faith in the team of the trifecta. It is that to book these two teams back to back, like, you can't. I hate. I've done it for the past few weeks. I guess maybe I'm back on board with being a UK fan since we're sitting here in the middle of June and I'm making basketball references. But it's hard to beat people 3 times in a season, and this is essentially the third match. It's not essentially. There's no metaphor. This is the third match.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going Luscious Lawrence and Jake Lawless.
Mr. Hines, whose 57th episode is this?
Well,
do you agree?
Speaking as a Hines, let me talk about what my dad would say on my birthday, who is also a Hines, by the way.
I hope so.
He would ask me every year the same question. What did you learn? Over the course of the last year, what have you learned? So that is my question to Lush and Lawless. What have you learned in the last 2 weeks facing this team? Have you learned that they're going to use the tag belts against you? Maybe hit you in the head and get the quick pin? What else have you learned? I don't know. That's not for me to say. That's for you to find out.
The only thing they've really learned so far, it seems, is that how to read in between the lines.
Well, there's that. But I was thinking maybe a little bit deeper. What could they have pulled from their last 2 matches that would help them this coming Thursday?
Get a manager.
These are 2 smart wrestlers.
There you go.
These are 2 tag team technicians. I think y'all are cooking a little bit with the third person thing.
You need somebody to offset the outside interference that could potentially be Anthony Katina.
So, Brian Hines, that leads me to a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
I'm gonna go with third time's a charm, man. I mean, nothing
No,
against the
no.
trifecta.
If it is
If it is what?
a manager.
Oh. Well, that's a whole other question entirely.
We'll throw that one to the chat. We'll come back to it later.
Who do you think would be a good manager for Luscious and Lawless chat room?
Who do you think?
Oh, Anthony Toatali.
That's just the trifecta in another direction.
Not a manager.
Just to come out
somebody
and
to come
keep
in and lend a
Katina at
hand.
bay?
Yes.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not an ally, not a manager.
Right.
Okay. I like where your head's at. If in the chat you think something different or you agree, please let us know.
Yeah, now's the time.
But as far as your prediction goes, where you headed?
I'm going third time's a charm. Lawless and Lush.
All right, so it's unanimous.
Oh,
we
by
have
the
a
way,
consensus prediction.
Thank you, Luscious Lawrence, for the new sticker for my computer.
All right,
Oh, yeah,
so
shout out to that.
as I said, that is the only traditional prediction we have.
That's fine.
But as I was looking through this today and putting your script together, it occurred to me that I don't really know what's next for any of the titles.
That sentence could have gone a lot of different ways at the beginning, but I see what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, like we know that we've got a new Rush Division champ in the form of Steven Steele.
That was stunning.
Behold a pale horse, Stephen Steele.
Certainly.
Stephen Stills. Crosby, Steele, Nash, and Young.
So we know he's going to get his opportunity to come out and say his piece tomorrow during Rise.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, me too. The question is, we know someone is going to interrupt that.
We don't know anything.
Well, wrestling has a format.
We can conjecture.
Yeah, generally, your new champ gets challenged immediately.
Objection. Conjecture. Objection.
For the poster alone and how it will look on television, imagine the stark contrast between Stephen Steele and Icon Lee.
Oh,
wow.
That would be great.
The battle of can they both lose?
No.
I want to see Steven Steele cut a promo. Because,
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I want to see more of that.
He's he believes that he's attractive and fit, and
I believe he's champion. And he can believe whatever he wants.
I mean, yeah.
You know, Dusty Rhodes said it the best. Maybe his hiney's a little too big. Maybe his belly's a little too big. Maybe he don't look like the athlete that he's supposed to look, but he's bad, and he knows he's bad. There's only two bad people, and then one was John Wayne, and he's dead.
Hard times.
Hard times, baby.
So, we're in a speculating mood this evening. Who do you think shows up? Who is Stephen Steele's first challenger?
I've got mine locked in, baby. I've got mine locked
in.
in. Icon Lee.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you just said that. Brian, do you have someone different?
I'll have what he's having.
Okay,
I think that's a perfect place to start.
Icon Lee has been rising up through the Rush division. He's there every week. He's put in some great, notable moments. You know, some well fought matches, even though he hasn't come up on top of a lot of them. And as far as challengers go, we've seen him time and time again be slotted into that first challenger position after a Rush division win. Right?
Yeah, I caught up with him after the match on Saturday.
I'd love to have him back down again. That was one of the true regrets of the last 2 years of this podcast. And brother, there's a lot of them, but one of the truest ones is I was so sick when Icon came down. I did not get to spend time with him.
He said to tell you that he's the best.
Well,
and if you don't believe him, just ask every third post on your social media.
Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about the media championship, because we know Dustin Jackson, they just had that big three-way match. Do we think that's going to get renewed? Do we think it's going to be somebody else? I mean, this is sort of a hard reset. I don't know what's next for this belt or for this championship.
it wasn't just sort of. I mean, it was hard reset.
It was literally called that, but it also seems to be that.
Well, I mean, I think that we've said this before. That term, that idea, new era, is prevalent in OVW right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is the go-to phrase. with the people that you see in the ring, which means that it's a phrase that the people in the back hear a lot also. It could have been a hard reset. It is a new era. It could have literally been, they could have taken the opportunity poetically to use hard reset as, the
New logo.
most extreme notifier that we are in a different place now.
Repaint Davis Arena peach, something.
I think that we're probably moving in a different direction. I think Anthony Katina has solidified himself as someone who will hold this belt. I think that he is ready to rise to any challenge, whether or not he beats someone straightforwardly in a wrestling match, or he has some friends or some chicanery accompany him to that win. I think that he will be the champion moving forward. I think that it's time for a new direction for that belt. And I think that what we're looking at, I don't think we're going right back to Anthony Toatelli in terms of like the next challenger for Katina, but that's simmering in the background because there's still a lot of lemon left to squeeze in terms of those two boys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you disagree or agree with anything that I said. Or
No, I feel like you're spot on. I feel like Anthony Toatelli and Anthony Katina are just in the middle of possibly the first chapter of a long, long story.
And I said it before. I don't want to belabor too many points that we make on the podcast, but between Dustin Jackson, Anthony Toatelli, and Anthony Katina, this has been, whether it's one or two of them against each other, or two, all three of them in the same ring together, whatever conglomeration of those three, they've put on some of the best matches of OVW this year so far.
Yeah.
Katina and Toatelli this last Thursday is a standout.
Yeah.
So,
but I believe we even said that. I believe I said that. So far, this was like match of the year, but of course that was before Hard Reset, and Hard Reset had its own jewels in that crown.
Definitely. What else we got, Tiny Brian?
All right. Let's see. So did we come up with who is Anthony's potential challenger? Who do you think his next opponent might be?
If it's not one of those two, Dustin Jackson or Anthony Toatelli.
Do you think it's going to be one of those? I think you guys kind of sounded like you were thinking it would be someone else.
It's Toatelli long term, but it's someone else in the short term. Maybe someone like who's been associated with a different division up until now, but has put on a bunch of great matches recently and deserves to get at least mentioned in the same sentence as a title. I've actually got two of them. JJ Lawson, number one, in no particular order, and Jake Painter, number two.
Ooh, wow, those are great choices.
Jake Painter and Anthony Katina chopping it up. Come on, baby.
The excitement in the back-breaking artist.
I'm just saying it could be one of the two of those. I'm leaning more toward Jake Painter, actually.
Really?
I'm leaning more toward Jake Painter being Anthony Katina's first challenger out of the gate. However, long term, Anthony Toatelli's not going to forget about this.
Back.
Yeah.
Brian, do you want to take JJ? Do you have another thought? Do you agree with Painter? What do you think?
After watching the Rush Division match from Saturday and the one from Thursday as well, it could be any one of those guys.
Well, and here's the thing: is there's going to be a mass exodus from the Rush Division because no one's beating Steven Steele.
What about a Chris exodus?
Everybody's trying. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, there's going to be a Chris. There's going to be a Chris exodus from the Rush Division because nobody's going to beat Steven Steele, lifelong champion. Okay.
No one can ever beat him.
Okay, that was good. Oh, well played.
What were we talking about before you guys started?
I don't even remember.
We were talking
who
about
Katina's next opponent would be.
Yeah, no.
I'd love a prediction from you, Brian.
If it's not one of those two, J.J. Lawson or Jake Painter.
Or do you want J.J. Lawson? I've put Chapman down for Painter.
I'll do that just for the sake of argument.
All right, Lawson and Painter. Now, here's a question: are Freya and Sophia Rose done with each other?
Nope.
No.
So we think this is not done. We're going to get more of Freya and
we're going to hear all about it on Thursday from either Sophia Rose or Freya the Slayer or both. Possibly one of them comes out to talk about the hard reset match. The other one interrupts. We get a knockdown, drag-out street fight where security comes and has to separate them yet again. And then they announce something like somebody in the chat just said a no DQ match. That's Cosmic Joe Chronicles. I like where your head's at, dude.
And Cosmic Joe, thanks for watching our regular show over on YouTube, too. I saw you over there.
Yes,
commenting.
we appreciate that.
Bigger question for me. How hard is Larkin taking the moment where where Freya pulled her in as the human shield on Sophia Rose?
Probably pretty hard. I'm sure there's therapy involved.
I think that moment is going to end up being such a larger moment in the trajectory between Sophia and Larkin, and thus the women's championship title, than anybody is talking about right now, including us.
You could very well be right.
To answer the question at hand, no, I don't think Freya's done with Sophia.
No.
I wonder more, though, what Larkin's feeling, what she's thinking about Sophia right now. Is she going to be able to look at it as the mistake that it was and the treacherous move on Freya's part that it was, or is the heat of the moment going to overwhelm her? I don't know. Only time will tell.
With lovely Miss Larkin, you really don't know.
All right, let's move along. Who's Eric Surge's next opponent? Any idea? Who's ready?
Steven Steele.
Okay. Much as I would love to see that.
No, he's my new favorite because I would have never in 1,000 years thought that was going to happen.
Nobody thought that.
Good, and congratulations. He played the smart long game. He won. He was, all that matters is that he won.
If you could have been there on Saturday, the collective gasp that happened when he came out and basically just ran to the ring, scampered up that ladder like he was a lumberjack cutting down a tree, grabbed that belt.
Oh, I would have been spraying Country Boy all over that place like I just won the Brickyard 500.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah, that's about how it was.
All right.
As far
as Eric Surge goes.
Yes. As far as Eric Surge goes, well, there's a lot of people that could be in the conversation. I could see Crixus, possibly.
That's not a bad choice. Revolution often feels like they need to be in that conversation.
Whether they need to or not, they feel like they deserve it. What about the veteran Jack Vaughn?
Jack Vaughn wants it.
Oh, sure.
But I feel like Donovan still has his dance card for now.
Well, yeah, you're probably right about that. I would like to see more from those two.
Yeah, I'm ready to see some matches from those two.
No,
sure.
I'm talking about board games. Feats of strength. And I got to talk to the veteran on Thursday, and I told him, hey, this is exactly what I expected out of you. And good job, because that killed.
The fact about Eric Surge is that as long as you're a big, smiling, babyface, gregarious champion in the form that he has been up until this point, the target just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger on your back.
Yeah.
The more that you're in front of the camera, the more that you come out to the aid of people, the more that you continue to show yourself to be the great guy that you are, the more a bad guy is coming for you. So
it's going to have to be a bigger, badder bad guy.
They know they've got to put you out of commission before they can do anything particularly dastardly, because you're going to show up and try to do something about it.
Because you're there every single time somebody needs help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think you're right. That's a big target. And so do we have a strong prediction here? We can kind of leave this one if you guys don't.
I don't. I honestly, there's so much shakeup in and around that belt right now that I don't know. I don't have a great idea.
And my last question in this area is, what's the fate of the heavyweight championship?
I think that's a great question right now.
Does it get retired? Anybody want to actually go out on a limb and predict it's retired?
No.
Okay.
No. For the hierarchy of the belts to work, the heavyweight championship is essential.
Sure.
You can't exactly get rid of that belt in its current form and not replace it with something similar without throwing off basically the feng shui, if you will, of every other belt on the roster.
Of how the belts work.
So I'm not willing to go that far.
New belt?
Could we see a new one? Yeah, sure. We just saw a new U.S. championship. We haven't seen a new OVW heavyweight championship since we've been covering this, have we?
No. But we have seen. That's not the first belt we've seen. We saw the. It was the Kentucky heavyweight championship.
No, that
right?
was the media.
That was the media.
What was it before that? The Country Boy what?
Kentucky heavyweight.
Okay,
but
that's what I'm saying. We
was
have
in
seen
States
that belt
here.
retired.
And become
this is the
something
second
new.
one.
Yeah, there was a TV championship for them before. Yes.
And not unlike the national, we saw that retired very recently. Eric
Right.
Surge holds the replacement.
So the idea that there would be a replacement belt and that one be retired, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying. Is every time they have retired, there has been another belt to kind of fulfill the role of the other belt.
Sure.
I see what you're saying. I agree. That's kind of just for me. That's off the table. I'm looking at something like a tournament.
Yeah, a tournament of lies.
I don't know that with something prestigious as the OVW heavyweight title. I don't know that you can do it in a Rumble match. I don't know if you can do it in a scramble.
I think I know what we're going to see, and I could be totally wrong, but it is King of the Hill season. Actually, it's both. King of the Ring season.
It is both.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a qualifying match this week for, a heavyweight championship
tournament. Yeah.
We get a match or two this week. We get a match or two next week. All the way going to.
Not to mention, I think I might be able to finish your point. We are now calling the Tuesday of the week of July 4th. So what is that? July 2nd?
July 1st.
July 1st. We're now calling that Independence Rage. We are broadcasting that this is going to be a bigger event by giving it a name.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks is a great time to have a tournament blow off on the third week.
What he said. Thanks for picking up what I'm putting down.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
Set it. What's our
Only
next?
took 157 episodes.
More like 160 because we're on 103.
That's true.
Brian, tell us about the video that's going to lead off our next break.
Okay, so earlier this week, Sunday, of course, was Father's Day. And I decided that, unofficially speaking, I wanted to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. And this is my video message to all the dads out there.
We'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, it's me, B. Hines from the OVW Fanzone, and I just wanted to say that I hope all the dads out there had a happy Father's Day. I had a pretty good Father's Day, but it probably wasn't as good as that guy, Jay De Niro. I mean, it's got to be like friggin' second Christmas, right? He wakes up on Father's Day morning and comes downstairs, and there's probably a tree, and under the tree there's probably like a lot of nice wingtips or loafers, or sneakers for when you're wearing the tracksuits, or some really nice ties or suspenders. I mean, where do you think the Jay De Niro Shoe Appreciation Society started? I mean, it had to start at Father's Day, right? So anyway, unofficially speaking, I hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. We'll see you this Wednesday in the OVW Fanzone at 7 p.m. on OVW TV.
Hey guys, Maisie Maria here, and
Maximo Suave.
Two of the OVW podcast most favorite supporters, and we just wanted to wish you guys, happy 100th episode. We are incredibly sorry that we could not be there. As you can tell, we're in my office. We are stuck at work. I'm going to be here.
It's not a ring.
It is not a ring. I'm going to be here all freaking night tonight. This jabron has to go wrestle on a show. So we wish we could be there with you guys. But you know what? Here's to another 100.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
week. Hopefully we'll have this all straightened out.
Fanzone. Whoa.
Get your tickets.
Dream of reality and attend the world-famous Harvard of Pro Wrestling. The OVW Academy with Al Snow. The birthplace of legends, including Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, The Miz, and many more. Will you be the next name added to that impressive list? Visit OVWacademy.com and apply now.
I'm Nick, and I'm in the OVW Fanzone.
Yeah.
I'm Leila Feist, and I'm in the OVW Fanzone.
Welcome back. Final segment, OVW Fanzone Live. This is where fans talk back. My name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines.
And Tiny Brian, tell us
We
what the
got a
fans are
lot.
saying.
Let's
Tell us
see.
what the fans are saying, baby.
Radio McRadioface had a chance to actually watch the show live on the internet over the weekend.
Oh, sweet, Radio.
First time that had happened, and he was pretty stoked to be in the chat, I guess, and at least be able to watch that live, and we're glad to have that for him.
I forgot after our Bodie McBoatface reference earlier that we do have a Radio McRadioface.
We do indeed.
Sure do.
Junk Punch Hero talking about a lot of vacant titles. Made me one unhappy junkie.
Is that what he calls himself?
Maybe rethink the
We got to
nickname,
get some more
Junk.
positive self-talk in the chat. That's what I'm saying. Month of July, positive self-talk month in the chat. All I want to hear from ourselves in the chat is positive self-talk.
It's July, not cruel lie.
What he said.
That's great.
To steal his line, what he said.
It's Okazago.
What up, Ito?
Hey.
Replying to Roy Bischoff, says, Icon Lee and Steven Steele, this is during predictions, he says, yes, oh my gosh, yes, please. So he seems to like the notion of that
I
pairing.
think it's good stuff. Potentially. I don't know anything.
Sure.
Then we get Junk Punch Hero says, oh, this is the moment when you guys decided that we would go real guerrilla in advertising ourselves on Alexa and Google Play. Junk Punch Hero says, ha, nice try, punks. Headphones.
Hey, you can't blame a guy for trying. And you did your best.
You listen to this show on headphones knowing that there's the prediction segment? Junk Punch, you are insane.
I do this show with headphones through the prediction segment, and I usually take them off.
Seema Calvin, Life Observer, when we talked about, that's the username.
That was my, I was in that frat in college.
Oh, great. When Cody Rhodes was on, he's like, you guys can talk about other brands, and sure, we talk about WWE stuff here sometimes and AEW,
And I
I've
talk about
stopped calling
AEW.
it Connecticut finally.
Yeah, it's okay.
When it's relevant, and I mean, Cody Rhodes, I know I was being silly when I said the only thing he's ever accomplished is being an OVW alumni, but OVW is obviously so important to Cody.
He's spoken about it very highly several times here in the last few weeks, months.
And not just, I mean, I remember in his AEW run being like, when I got trained by the great Al Snow, and I was like, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. So, I mean, he's been talking about it for a long time in interviews, on television, everywhere. So, you know, in this case, there was a little bit more of an OVW tie-in than usual. But yeah, from time to time, we talk about the other guys. But
Sure.
everybody knows where the best action is.
Speaking of, Truth Magnum is, part of the Outrunners. And
Sure.
Great to see him back, man.
Yeah,
that was
they
so
are
fun.
on AEW. As a matter of fact,
They're in masks now. Did you see that?
no. Oh my God!
It's
I'll
high
have to go
proper
back and
gaga.
watch.
Yeah, it's high proper gaga. That's if you're ever wondering what I do after the conclusion of this program. I am watching that program.
Well, all right then. But he was in Davis Arena on Thursday and Saturday, and I was glad to see him there. As a matter of fact, Malachi, could you pull that up for me?
What are we looking at here?
So, I have a confession to make. One of the youngest men alive is my son. Can you see the resemblance?
Wow.
That was my Father's Day present. I got to see my other son.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I know, right?
You have, in fact, been called his dad multiple times since we've been going to this show.
Yeah.
You guys gonna keep up? You guys gonna keep up with each other?
Sure.
It's good. It's good.
We're gonna like go fishing and camping and do stuff.
I mean, you got to be proud of him, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would get up and do the spin, but I'm old and I would get dizzy and fall over.
Well, and
give me some notice. We can figure out a way to spin you.
How about you come around here and just spin the chair around? How about that? No?
Maybe next time.
All right, that's fair.
A little bit more to get to here. Oh, Junk Punch Hero then on the question of whether or not we can talk about other brands. He says, as per Cody, it's a brief cameo.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going back to the Naked Gun talk, right?
Matthew Berry, whose birthday is coming up.
Oh, what's up, man?
Happy future birthday.
If only I knew what Matthew liked. If only there was something that I was around every single day.
Was it wrestling?
No, not
Was it
quite.
model cars?
No, not quite. I think if I had to get Matthew anything for his birthday, it would probably be a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
If only I knew where to get any.
We'll have to think on that.
So Josh Gardner says...
What did Matthew say, though?
Oh, Matthew says, what if Cody came back for one day to OVW?
That'd be so fun.
That would be outstanding.
Yes.
Don't advertise it.
No.
Because we saw that the fire code is very real at that Kroger out in Versailles.
And they don't play.
Josh Gardner says that factions at OVW can be hard to follow or remember who's in what faction. That's why you've got to listen to the OVW podcast, Josh.
And you know
available right now on our YouTube channel over at OVW Podcast. You guys talked about the pay-per-view. You talked about the last week's Rise, kind of everything you need.
Mm-hmm. And it was a long one. We've got a ton of other episodes out there, 103 episodes in total. So
take your pick.
If you aren't able to catch up with OVW on YouTube throughout the week, we're about an hour and a half long.
Usually, except for yesterday.
And, you know, maybe we could be the way that you caught up with OVW. We'd love to have you over there, man. We'd love to have you on. We're on every podcast platform and also on YouTube, OVW Podcast, at OVW Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Matthew asked who the clowns are. I'll say quickly, we don't know.
We don't know. Don't know.
Let's see.
You're looking at them.
Junk Punch Heroes asked if anyone went after referee Dallas Edwards after the show.
Yes, he did get a ride back to Davis Arena.
Yeah,
yes.
I think probably journalist Zachary D. Pittman III was out there picking him up.
I would not be surprised if that were the case.
Or Eric Cornish, because he's
a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, how did they? I want to know how they got out there, because did they not drive? Did they get teleported? Because it didn't appear as if
they took a lift.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You never know. When you're out at the carnival, things can happen.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the calendar, gentlemen. Tomorrow at 6:15, doors open.
Dallas Edwards and Super Z sitting in the back of a lift. So where are you guys from?
Parts unknown.
Just remember, 5 stars, 5 stars.
Rise tomorrow, 7 p.m., doors open 6:15. Tuesday, the show, I suppose it still always kicks out at 2. It is OVW Overdrive.
We got new hosts, but it still kicks out at 2.
Yeah, Linda Kay and Jessica White are your hosts for that. All the action that happens before Rise on Thursday nights. Next Tuesday evening, you can expect a new episode of the OVW podcast right after Overdrive on our YouTube at OVW Podcast. And 1 week from today, 6 days, 23 hours from right now, we will be right back here for OVW Fanzone Live, where fans talk back.
For all of us here at Blacklight Moon Productions, my name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Hines57.
For Tiny Brian Woodard, for Malachi P.S. Woodard and Victor Anderson, this has been